Get on in here. It's time for tea with me, the Fly Lady. Grab your cup. It's warm and snuggly cup. It's hot. It's a really hot cup right now. And it's kind of cool out today. Leanne's got on her flannel and I've got on 3/4 sleeves of a little heavier shirt than normal. But yeah, get on in here. So, we are going to have some fun. I finally got my pages printed out without being double-sided. It's been making me very frustrated, and I do not like to be frustrated. But I got 5 pages of topics. I haven't cut them out yet. I really need to do that, and I probably will after I get off this show. But I've been playing a little, getting back into the normal routines of things, and I have them right here. Now, my sister Patty is just going to die right now, so you can just turn the computer off and walk away from it, because I'm getting on my soapbox for a minute. My friend Leanne Ely moved here. She surprised me with a visit in the late May the 28th. She came to see me. She surprised me. We did a show together. And yes, I am going to mention Leanne. If I mention her 8 times in one show, you're just going to have to get over it, because she moved 2 miles away from me as the crow flies because she loved me. We're working on a book together. She didn't move closer to her daughter and her son. She moved here to be with me. And if I promote saving dinner 15 times a day, I'm going to do it. Because we are brainstorming together. We are in each other's heads right now. We are doing things to help one another. Whether it's the hot melt sprint, or working on this book, or brainstorming together, giving each other ideas. We are a team. And if you don't like it, you find somebody else to help you get organized. That's all I got to say about it. Because this is part of another layer of our own disorganization. It's what we put in our mouth and what we put in our heads. So I am surrounding myself with people who are going to keep me focused on what I need to do to save my life. To save my life. Now, I dare say if Leanne hadn't have moved here, I wouldn't have had the ability by myself to grab hold of what was happening to me. Because it hadn't happened in 3 years, 4 years. I don't care if Robert mentioned every day, honey, have you walked up and down the steps today? Nope. It's me and Leanne doing it together. So, if you don't like it, leave. That's all I got to say. And I'm not going to miss you one little bit. In the time it took you to write the email that complained about me mentioning Leanne 8 times in one of my videos, you could have turned it off. And that's all I'm saying for now. So I'm going to pick a topic since I'm off my soapbox right now. I should have let my niece Jessica answer that email, but this is how it is. I don't even know the person's name. My sister didn't even tell me that. I'm going to, let me see here. I'm running my name finger up and down a page, and I'm going to stop right here. I got it right here. It's called Leading by Example. Well, sometimes you have to call a spade. Just the way it is. And that's not a racist term. That's just how it is. And when I keep a lot of things, I keep a lot of things at bay. I have the patience of Job most of the time. But you start picking on my friends, you're going to bring the mama bear out in me, because that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Leanne and I could fight and argue, which we never have. But Patty and I could disagree on stuff. But that doesn't mean it's going to change. Leanne and I don't agree on several things, but we still talk about it and we take care of it and we listen to each other politely. But, this is my show. This is my show. This is what God called me to do. And right now, what He's calling me to do is to lead by an example. And sometimes you have to stand up and say what's in your heart. You have to stand up and say, okay, I can't do this anymore by myself. You have to admit that you need help. And that's the beginning of an AA program. Admit that you're hopeless. Well, I'm not hopeless. I will never admit that I am hopeless or helpless. Never going to admit that, because I do have the good Lord inside of me to guide me. But He also has the Holy Spirit giving to others suggestions. And Leanne got the wild idea to pack up everything she owns and move here. None of y'all did that. Nope. None of y'all did that. But my friend Leanne did. And she's holding my hand, walking me through this new book we're working on. Yes, it's empowering, because if we don't walk the walk while we're writing this book and talking about this book and getting energized by this book, we are learning so much that we didn't have in our original Body Clutter book. Leanne just got through talking about it in the Hot Melt diet group, which is the next step after the Hot Melt sprint. And it was powerful. And Leanne and I got on the phone afterwards talking about how fasting really is energizing for us. I mean, let's think about it. Let's just think about it. When I go on stage, I can't eat before I go on stage. There is no way I could have any food in my body and get up on stage and speak to you. It's the same way at the tea time. It's the same way in the morning. I can't eat before I go and before I start to speak. You want to know why? Because my brain shuts down. My body goes to digest whatever I just put in it. Tea doesn't have anything to digest. It's just warm and helpful. So let's drink our tea. I was telling Leanne a while ago, when I don't eat during the day, when I am doing my intermittent fasting, my brain is pinging. I've got so many wonderful ideas when I'm not stuffing my body with food that, first of all, would probably not be nutritious. Secondly, it would create this digestion that has to happen, and I'd get sleepy and want a nap. Think about it. We have the ability to be on fire, and it's a fasting fire, an intermittent fasting fire that this fire that, how do I put it? It's a fire that burns the fat. It's going into ketosis. Leanne she didn't really break her fast with bone broth, but she curbed it gives us energy. It's just powerful. So if you haven't tried the Hot Melt Sprint, we're going to do it again next month. And when we're in zone 2, I think it starts October the 6th. So we're going to do it again. And we're going to, I like I said the other day, I'm going to be doing this hot melt sprint for a week every month for the rest of my life because it brings me back. I mean, I got a big pot of bone broth going right now. I roasted my pieces of beef bone and onions and all kinds of good stuff. And I just cleaned out my crisper and I've put everything. I just added a bunch of garlic to it because that's a great antioxidant. And I put some chicken broth to get it started, and it's going to cook for 2 or 3 days. And I may get sick of the smell, but guess what? It's wonderful. It's going to fuel everything. And then when it comes back to sprint time, I'm going to make my soup, and I'm going to put my cauliflower and zucchini and good stuff in it because it's a powerful soup. I lost 4.3 pounds. 4.3 pounds. And I did it, and I didn't suffer. I didn't suffer. It was empowering. I looked forward to my meals. And I figured out how to eat when I'm out, which I've done that before. But I figured out how to eat for the sprint diet while I was visiting Patty on Sunday night. I still had my salad. I still had a piece of salmon. I still had everything right there that I needed. Recipe for bone broth I don't have a recipe. I just start cleaning out my crisper and roasting these vegetables and putting it in the crock pot and cooking it. You can put water with it. I put some thyme in it because I like that thyme flavor. Whew. Anyway, so I got to walk the walk, got to talk the talk, and the more I talk about it, the more it gets in me to tell you what I'm doing, what Leanne and I are both doing. We're going to her house for dinner tonight. We're going there for dinner. Our guys are going to have tortillas with their Mexican food. We're going to have lettuce wraps. We're going to do lettuce wraps. If you've ever been to P.F. Chang's, you know their lettuce wraps are to die for. We're going to pretend like it's not keto. We go into ketosis. We're having veggies. We're having lots. It's more balanced. Leanne likes to call it, she wrote a book. You should get her book, Part-Time Paleo. Part-Time Paleo. It's amazing. But you can still eat in a certain way. You can't have grains. Because grains kind of defeat the purpose. 1/2 a cup of oatmeal is like, or anything that's made of grains is 40-50 carbs. I don't want to put more than 10 carbs in my body in one day sitting. No more than 10. So here's to tea time. Here's to me talking the talk. But the best part is I'm walking the walk. I'm walking the walk. And you can do that too. Leading by example. Giving your all. And I have given my all to all of you since Fly Lady started. What you see is what you get. And right now, you're getting a little less of me. So y'all, enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Let's drink up. Let's drink up because we can redirect our own thinking anytime. That's what tea time's all about. It's giving you a moment in your life to just stop what you're doing and focus on one thing. And what's that one thing? A luscious cup of tea. And you get to listen to me at the same time. But you're my excuse to drink a cup of tea, because I know it's going to help with my fat burning, because I'm going to cut off the blood supply. Drinking the tea is going to cut off the blood supply to my body clutter. So drink up. We're learning new things. We need to learn something new every single day. Learn something new every single day, because as long as we're growing mentally, spiritually, open the Bible and go to a Bible verse. And this morning I saw a post from a young man who witnessed, well, he's a pastor now, but September has always been a bad month for him because his grandmother died in September. But this September changed everything because he watched his aunt get married. So now September has a new meaning. September has a new meaning. We can give things that are clutter in our lives. We can give things new meaning. I had a cup one time that somebody had given to me, and they had betrayed me, and it was a beautiful mug. It had grapes on it. It was a beautiful mug. I loved the mug, but I didn't like the feeling I had when I looked at the mug. So, you know what I did with it? I left it on one of my professor's desk. Her name was Miss Rachel, and she taught me calculus, pre-calculus. She taught me calculus, and I washed it and I left it on her desk. And in a couple of days, she was using it again. She had her coffee in it. So we can take things that give you a sad memory and turn them into good memories. And know that I don't think about the person that betrayed me anymore. I think about Miss Rachel liking that mug. So we can change our lives. We have to flip the switch on our own. We have to change the way we think about something. We have to redirect our brain so that we're not obsessing. When you catch yourself obsessing about something, and I learned this from my daughter-in-law when Ethan was 1 year old and he was just getting up and walking. He'd want to touch the VCR and different things. And Emily said, just turn him around, get his attention someplace else. And she called it redirecting. So we can redirect our own selves. We can do it on purpose, and we can do it with good results. So I'm leading by example because I'm telling you to do this, but I'm doing it too. Leanne's doing it too. We're telling you what we're doing, and we're making it easy for you because we're taking the wisdom that we have learned through this process of losing weight and gaining weight and losing weight and gaining weight. We're going to take you through that, and we're going to maybe stop it from ever happening again. With the Hot Mail Sprint once a month, bringing us back down to our basics, back the foundation of what we do. Well, I love you all, and I will talk to you tomorrow morning, Thursday, because that's when we're doing our question and answers. And if you haven't gotten your questions in, send them to flylady@flylady.net, and we'll collect a bunch of them. See you later.